Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to our Institution of Global Professional Free International webinar in IGP platform. Thank you all for joining with us in this wonderful evening. Dear participants, today I am your host. I am Kamrul from Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member, and I feel honored to host this webinar. And it's my delight to welcome you all to our Institution of Global Professional Free International webinar in IGP platform. Thank you again all for joining with us in this wonderful evening. And it's my humble request to you that you join with us till end. And time to time you like our Facebook page and subscribe our YouTube channel. And don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends. So let's together and learn together. Before we have completed our 453 webinar. Today I will be presenting webinar number 454, and the topic is your greatest gift as a leader. Speak, connect, and grow from the heart. Today we have two speakers, one from Mexico and another from Cuba. Let's welcome our speaker to the screen.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for this welcoming,
Hello.
Kamal.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm so happy to be back. I've lost track how many courses or workshops I've been here, and it's always a joy to unite our hearts together in service to you and us. I have a special guest today, and we have an important, amazing topic. I apologize if I look a little smaller. I had an issue with technology, but our hearts are impeccable. Our knowledge is here, and we are up for an amazing ride because this topic is truly one to pay attention. So I welcome everyone who is there hearing us, and I want you to please take notes. Make sure you save all your questions towards the end, because if you think about being a leader, there's so many skills around being a leader. Now, the part of feeling confident in front of the camera and being able to project your truth, feeling confident and being a connector to your why at all times is a must. So I could not have done this with anybody else except my partner, Alberto Pupo. I'm going to probably transition into the computer now and disconnect from here. So Pupo, take it over. I think I will be able to join through the computer.
Okay, welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to me to be here today in this wonderful space with Balalino. Today we are going to learn how the leaders can speak with people and connect with them through their hearts. So this course that we will share with you is a very, very important course that we are making with Val. Several years ago. So today we are going to learn how can we share our message as leaders with the world from the heart. So today we are going to share some tools that you can use as leaders to empower your message and to get uh, your mission to another level. So let's start by sharing some tips that we have as leaders that can help us to speak properly with people in order to get our message in other level. So
Absolutely. And Pupo, before we start, I want to ask Command to allow me to come in through the computer. So I'm on backstage waiting to get in from the computer. So I'm going to get off here.
perfect.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you.
Perfect. Hold on one moment. One second, and we're good to go. Okay, so we are going to start. I'm so happy we were able to make this work. Yay! Okay, let's start full. Can we have our first slide, Pupo, so we can get going in this
Okay.
beautiful workshop?
Okay, vamos a let's share. Sorry, because I am an Spanglish speaker, so I am from Cuba. I speak Spanish very well, and my English is not that well, but I will try and do my best. So
And
the first
actually,
slide.
before we start, Pupo, I'd like to share because a lot of these amazing people that are hearing us today, they might think they might have a point of view of who they can join forces to become better leaders at the beginning. Of course, you can be a leader by yourself, but I'd like to share a little bit about our own story, how we became to start working together in our journey around leadership, and how we built the signature workshop called Speak Connected Grow from the Heart.
Hello,
So,
ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, sorry for disturbing you. Before starting the program, make the slide is presentation mode.
Can you make the presentation mode wider, Pupo, please?
Yeah.
But no, but we'd like to see each other as well, because this way we can
Yeah,
see
we
each
like to see
other.
each other. And we like to see the presentation also. I can
So
put it in that way, but I can see you, Bob. If I
yeah,
can.
so Kamal, I think everybody can see it still, and we can share the presentation. But our presentation is super interactive, so we need to be able to see each other. So I like to see. Do we have access to the chat and see if everybody's okay? Can everybody hear us? Can anybody who's watching this in the slide, can you see the presentation? Okay, just say yes or no, or thumbs up or thumbs down. We'd like to be able to interact because this is a connecting workshop. And if we make this big, then you will not see us, or we won't see each other. Is there anybody out there? Because I don't see anybody commenting like other times. Kamal?
Ma'am, we can see you and we also see your presentation.
Okay, perfect. Are we interacting with the audience? Are we interacting with the audience?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, audience also see you.
Okay, well, it's just always this group is very live and they're always interacting, so I don't see anybody in the chat.
If you can make the slide presentation mode.
If I make the slide presentation mode, then I won't be able to see Pupo. That's the thing.
Well,
I
but
think
I can see. I can say that I am in the chat. There are a lot of people comment our presentation, and I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. No, so
Okay, ma'am. Carry on
you
your
can put the comments in the chat in the comment chat.
okay, perfect. Now I see everyone. So if they are okay, then I would like to have it in this mode. But if not, Pupo, we'll just have to flow and make it big and not see each other.
Let's
So
flow.
if you want to make it big, make it big. All right. So do you want to make the presentation mode?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so as I was saying, when we started this journey of Speak Connected Grow from the Heart, we were already speakers, but we wanted to find a way to be able to give tools to people to be able to feel confident, to be able to have everything they need to be ready to speak on behalf of their truth, their business, even if you're in school and you need to like have a presentation being done or look for a job, to have these skills, right, that really connect you to your why. Are we making the presentation big, Pupo? I think this is a requirement here. We won't be able to see each other.
Okay, let's begin with something. When we speak about leadership, we speak about someone that can share the message with the world, and um, uh, that have a way to do it, a practice. So in this workshop, we say, or the principal statement is that the important here is not only the message, is how this message can heal us and can transform us, not only the person that receives the message, but the person that gives the message. The main thing when you speak in public, you have a public speaking skills, is that public speaking skills heals you. That public speaking skills make you grow as person. So that's is the main message here in Speak, Connect, and Grow from the Heart. That's why the is this title now. We want that you can share your message not only from your mouth, not only from your brain, but from your heart, from
Absolutely.
your great heart as a leader. So
Absolutely. And
okay, Val.
I'm going to go ahead and start with this slide. I just want to ask the people in the comment if they can still see our presentation. Just put yes or no, because we want to be able that you see both of us and that I see Alberto, so we're able to cope. So if this is okay, just give me a thumbs up and a thumbs down. So we want to start with the motivational strategies to be a good speaker. We want to encourage you to know that it's a process, that it's little by little. The minimum progress that you can have on a daily basis, perhaps you can work on your presentation better and be more clear or be more confident, or perhaps you manage to speak 5 minutes and you're leading towards a bigger goal. So every little bit counts in this process. We want to focus on your strengths. As we go on in the presentation, we're going to guide you in what are the principal obstacles that we're going to be speaking in past tense, that were having you being afraid to do this work. So when you focus, instead of like, oh, I'm afraid to be on stage, I'm afraid to speak, I feel nervous, what are the things that you do have to be able to compensate the things that are not your biggest strengths?
Val, in that point, I have to say that our brain is always ready to notice what is missing, but is not always ready to see what we are doing well. So in this case, we have to be conscious that what are our strengths, and how we can share that strength with the world, because we always, as we are in survival mode, always notice our defects, but not always notice our strength. So an important point here in public speaking is to focus on our strengths when we are speaking.
Absolutely. And in case you're hearing this and you're saying there's no way, I don't have any strengths, we all do. Because guess what? We want to break some truth to you now. Everybody has a why. Everybody has something to share. If in these 3 seconds as I speak this, you're feeling no way, I have an ordinary life, I have nothing to give back, I'm just going to focus on the books and the work and have an ordinary life, we want to break that to you, because once you do this work and you embrace these points that we're going to share with you, you will see how your life will be transformed. So, Pupo, what do you think about building community around here?
Yeah, it's important. It's important because we are not, we are leaders to build community. So we need to, our message, we need that our message build community. It's not only speak about us. We speak about us, of course, but it's important that the message that you want to deliver speak about our community, our culture, our partners, speak about our society, because it's important that the leader transmit a message that change that community, or that impact that community, or maybe that it can move that community to another level of knowledge.
Absolutely. And speaking of community, I love already the feel of community. Now that I can see the chats, I appreciate all of you that are responding, saying yes, no. In fact, we want to throw out there a question. We want to know where you are watching from, because we are building a universal community right here. So throw in the chat where I see somebody said, JV May said, I'm from Philippines. While we are speaking through this, go ahead and let us know. Let us elevate the vibration of this presentation by connecting with you right in this moment, regardless of time and space, to be able to know where you are. So I'm actually currently right now in the US, but I was in Mexico a couple of days ago, and Pupo is actually in Peru. So yeah, so Ginalyn says Philippines. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And we're just going to keep on going, but throw in the chat all the places that you are watching. In fact, when I see Philippines, I want to let you know that I'm coming to Philippines for the Global Woman Empowerment Summit. I think there's a lot of announcements around that. So who knows if I would have the pleasure to hug you or see you in person. As you can see in social media, all the information if the Global Woman Empowerment Summit. I'm super excited. Look at all these people from Philippines. So Pupo, what do you think about focus on what you have? We already talked about that. Now be yourself. That is your advantage.
Yeah, it's important when you're speaking with people, try to not copy to other people in the way that you're speaking. Yeah, I know that a lot of people try or start in public speaking trying to copy the style of another leaders, or trying to copy the words of another person, or make a statement that someone said before. But the important here is that you have your own style, your own words, your own message. When you do that, you became in a great speaker. The difference between the bad speaker or the great speaker is to be yourself. When you are yourself speaking, you have all the opportunities to be successful doing this.
Absolutely. And I want to add to that leadership and confidence and all these traits that we are sharing with you can come really flawlessly, easy. Why? Because it's as easy as this. You attract who you are. You are going to be bringing into your life those people like Pupo. Maybe we co-attracted each other and now we're such a good team and we were doing amazing things together. In fact, we want to share with you something exciting that's happening this Friday. We are bringing the first ever Speak, Connect, and Grow tour, live tour. So imagine that we're bringing actually 14 speakers that fought for $1 million that they would never be speakers. And they're coming to live stages, big auditoriums. And we created a beautiful product that combines public speaking, it combines spirituality, it combines sightseeing, and it also combines giving back. So these are 4 elements that we're bringing. How did we come up with this? Because we were on the same channel. We attracted each other. How many people can be right now on this platform? This Global Institute has over 60,000 people. Imagine what it would take for us to be verbal and be communicative and exchange time and talent and love and create magic together. Because in the long run, we're all trying to grow. If you're just thinking your own mindset, I want to grow, it's my business, I'm not going to share anything because they're going to copy my ideas. We are in lack and in fear thinking in that vibration. We want to think abundantly. And we imagine if we would say, oh, I'm not going to share with this forum our signature workshop because, oh my gosh, somebody's going to copy us. That doesn't even come into our mind. We want to gift you everything that has worked for us in hopes that you share the light and you inspire others, even if it's you gather 10% of what we share with you. So first step in this public speaking confidence, being a leader, is that we think abundantly and we rise our vibration by doing so. So let's keep on going, Pupo.
Because no one, you can share your information, because all this is information. You can share information, but no one can copy your talent. Your talent is unique. So you have to develop that talent, and you will attract people that have complementary talents with you and the same talent, and they are in the same mood that you, and they feel like you. So that's why we are so successful bringing to Peru that group of speakers that not only going to share a big stages here, but also in different cities. There are 4 cities waiting for us, and with people in different levels. We're going to have teachers, parents. We are going to have young leaders. We are going to have women. So they can share their message with all that kind of people from their heart. So it doesn't matter the audience. The main thing here is, what do you want to share with them? What is the message that you, or the message that you want to share with them, and how you can impact the life of that person or that people with your leadership.
So, how many alliances can you guys really exchange or create from this forum that we are gifted with? That's a question that we lead off. So, let's keep on going. So, practice whatever you can, whenever you can. Stop analyzing everything. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, look, there's things outside your control. When you're doing this work, just flow and focus. I'm telling you, everything that could go wrong this morning, my tripod broke, my camera wasn't working, my mic, but I stayed in the flow. I stayed in abundance, and I knew that I was going to be able to get in here. I was in a state of positivity. In public speaking and in leadership, my loves, we must stay grounded and flow to the energy of whatever comes our way. So we want to be able to connect with our inner wisdom as well. These are really practical, motivational strategies to be a good speaker. Pupo, do you mind switching the slide, please?
Yeah, empower yourself. How
Well,
can we
change
empower
it, change it, please, because I can't see it here. Okay, so we can actually, let's see if we can see it, because it's,
Yeah, we
I
can see
can't, I can't. It's still in the motivational strategies to be a good speaker.
Okay.
So
Wait.
we want the next slide.
It's-
Exactly.
yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about empowering yourselves and how we can really do this work. Okay, first of all, as we started this presentation, there are these deep inner wounds that we were carrying. We're going to always speak in past tense, and that have more impact that we can even think. Sometimes we just suppress them, we slide them, and sometimes gender-based, the men might think, oh no, it's not a big deal. It's not worth to be thinking about it. But if you didn't do the inner work, those things come up when you're a public speaker. We're going to talk about the different labels in another part, and what is it that the blockages that we were having to do this work. Forgiving yourself if anything happened that it wasn't, that you thought was not in your highest good, that maybe you felt ashamed or blame or guilt. All these different feelings really can stifle your power as a leader and as a human. So forgiveness is a beautiful gift, and also what forgiveness and gratefulness elevate your spirit and your vibration. So grounding yourself, never allowing the ego to flow, to be the star, right? We're always a vessel of love, of source, whatever source means to you, and allow that to be always the center. Allow your heart to be the connector, not your ego-based thoughts of, I've done this and accomplished that. And of course, we got to share that, but we understand that we are instruments. Please avoid being overwhelmed. And how do we avoid being overwhelmed? Today, this morning, I would have been completely overwhelmed. But despite of everything that happened today, I was able to be resourceful. I was able to work under pressure. I was able to ask for help behind stage to be able, you have no idea what happened for me to be here. So what is it that might be blocking you, that was blocking you, that might actually give you the tools that you need to be even a greater leader by developing skills, staying grounded, and not feeling overwhelmed? Prioritize your time. That's a tough one. I'm going to have to say that's a tough one. I've got to be vulnerable and honest. What happens sometimes in our case, I'll speak about Alberto and I, Pupo and I, is that we love so much what we do that we can actually just let hours and hours pass. And we've got to remember to balance that out and be able to say, okay, this is the most important thing. I believe this is a hard point for everybody. If you agree that prioritize your time is a biggie, write yes in the chat. We're going to make sure nobody falls asleep. We are here from all over the world and to be able to ignite this energy. Do you think that prioritizing your time is a toughie one? Please write yes or no in the chat. Pupo, do you want to go on the next one?
Yeah. Bueno, I have to say that Tell Your Story helps you to rediscover and give you the energy to help and to be the inspiration and the motivation for others. So we are encourage you here in order that you share your story the most of the time, no, with everyone, because the practice make the master.
Absolutely. And of course, we've got to remember to take care of ourselves at all times. And, not only take care of ourselves, but show up for ourselves. I'm going to add this and be flexible and vulnerable to say what you need. Like, even in this presentation, I know I've been here enough that the format is to zoom in on this presentation. But in order for us to really come through and connect, and you see both of us and we can interact, we are going to just stand our truth. And as long as you can see those PowerPoints, we are going to make it work, because that is our belief that what is best for this particular presentation. So let us talk right now about these labels that we were carrying. How many of you had perhaps someone tell you, you're not a good speaker. You look so nervous when you speak. Or in my case, my mother would say, you have such a sensitive heart. Be careful, because you just say too much. You get too much involved. You might be intimidating. And how many more things have we been told that has stifled us to really hold our truth, to become leaders, to use our body, to be connected to our words and our hearts and our mind, to be able to share our truth. And in fact, even just ask questions in a Zoom. Or why not get on a stage and really own your truth? What do we do with these labels, right? Because they keep on coming up if you don't work. When I say work, means we use whatever source that is a vessel for you to liberate pain, whether it's in any force, any way that, I don't know, a temple or whatever you do, or meditation, or sitting under the stars or next to a tree, whatever that is. You want to be able to have that space for you. And when these louder voices come to you to remind you of these labels, you actually want to focus on what you are now and thank those teachers that had come before you to come and tap into and move you and shake you, that there is some inner work to be done. So instead, we're going to invite you to look at it from a different lens. Instead of attaching to that truth, instead of really being angry at that person that labeled you, know that they were in lack and in fear. And not because they want to hurt you, is because they have not done the inner work. Usually comes from our family, especially our parents. And when we release that, like, oh my God, I can't stand my mother. She's always telling me that I'm doing this wrong and that I shouldn't do this career, that I'm not a good leader. When you release that, because she's only saying that, I'm giving an example, because she wasn't able to release and grow or heal in a certain area. So when you forgive and let go and let the universe take over, you will be more empowered to do this work. So now, what would it take that this little slide can allow you to tear down these labels? In fact, if you were taking our whole workshop, we would be doing an exercise around with Post-its, where you would actually write down all those labels that would come to you in the first minute, all of them. And then we do a way of liberation. So
Yes.
if anybody out there in the chat can be vulnerable enough to share any labels that you might be carrying about being a leader, or speaking your truth, or being a good speaker or not, what was something that was said to you by a loved one or a friend?
Val, let's do an exercise. Do you agree? Mira, let's do it this. I want that you write in the chat 3 words that define you, that you choose, not that people choose. But let's answer the question, do you know who you are? So if you know who you are, I want that you write in the chat 3 words that do you like that people tell you who you are. Okay, or write in the chat that three words and help me, please, Val, reading the chat. Let's see
So
what you
let
think
me
about them.
recap. So you want three words that people say about them or that they like that
No,
people say about
they
them?
like, yeah, three words that they like.
To hear
That,
from people. To
yeah,
hear from people. Okay. So everybody that is
when
here,
they say about them.
play along here with us. What are three words that you hear from your friends, family, loved ones that activate you, that ignite you? Okay, people are saying true, and I want to know like three words that really you enjoy. When for me, like example, I'll give an example. They say, "I love your energy, your vibe, and your heart," and that really ignites
For
me.
me, for example, when they said you are funny, oh yeah, I'm funny. No, so I like that kind of words. I want that you know who you are, because when you choose the words or the labels, because you can shoot also the labels that people put in on you, you can focus on your strength, or try to focus on your strength, as we see before. So you have to answer this question: do you know who you are? You are who you believe you are.
Exactly. So we're gonna go on, and I hope that you guys can do this exercise because only acknowledging these things will empower you to really. Oh, look, I love Rowena. She says, "Friends told me that I am humble, simple, and true to myself." I love that. Thank
Yes.
you so much for sharing that. So now that she knows that, Pupo, what would can she do with that information?
Well, the thing is that you have to believe what you want to believe. So if they say that you are in that way, they are in that way, because you only are a mirror. When someone tell you good things about you, is a mirror of their soul. When people say something wrong about you or something bad about you, they are sharing with you her wounds, her lack of feelings, or the her lack of love. So you have to help them, uh, try to bring good words in order to answer the question: do you know who you are? If you know who you are, nobody can hurt you when you are in peace.
Absolutely. And if you don't know who you are, it's okay too, because there's always that brand new day to be able to rediscover yourself and find out your own truth. If you do not know and it's causing you pain, there's always so many ways. A spiritual teacher, a life coach. I'm actually a life conscious parenting spiritual coach, NLP practitioner. It doesn't have to be me. Whoever you think and feel that could be a source of light for you, reach out and ask for help. So, this is our next topic, fear, because most of the time, fear is the grand obstacle that does not allow us to speak in front of an audience. Pupo?
Of course, because when we are in fear, we always listen our not our strength, but we focus on what is missing when we speak. So we have to make the fear our best friend. And you will say, what, how, Alberto, I can make the fear my best friend? We Instead of that, we have to no fear the fear. So no, you have to be friend of fear, and I will explain you how to do it, because to be afraid is a principal obstacle when you speak in public, because you have to be afraid to fail, for example, or we seek perfection, and it generates some anxiety,
Anxiety.
anxiety when we speak in public. For example, now I am not native language, nothing English speaking, so I think in Spanish, and I have to translate the things into English, and that generate anxiety when I speak. For example, could be we don't know the subject very well, for example, or we are not sure what to say when they ask that we speak. previously had bad experience speaking in public, or somebody tell you, no, you are not good speaking in public, or when you were a child, you were not allowed to speak because all the time the people said, shut up, sit down, you don't know, you can do it. So in general, our education give not don't give us the word to speak or the opportunity to speak. In general, our education said, sit down and listen, but they don't say, please come here and speak. And so that's why always we think that speak is something that is not for us, or maybe it's something that we cannot do very well because we are all the time in the school sitting and listening and not in the stage speaking.
And
So
not only that, I'm going to add to that. And before, I'm going to share with you a comment that I know you will appreciate. Maria Cristina says, it is always nice to be funny at times, serious, or just being normal. So there, like, you can tap into whatever source you want, and it's perfectly okay as long as you are you. And what Alberto is saying, I'm going to tap into it. It's in school and since grade level to now, we are told to just listen, very little participation. And in fact, when we want to share our feelings, even when we're growing up or teens or whatever age, adulthood, a lot of times we're stifled and quiet because we want to avoid conflict, or we are told not to avoid conflict. But it is only until we use our own voice that we really can liberate this. We're going to be flowing a little bit faster
okay.
because we get really engaged. I see we're on minute 39. So fear is actually can be your friend, and we liberate, because I want to add one more thing about fear. Fear is here to warn us of a situation. If you are walking in an alley and it's scary and it's dark and it's a dead end, it's warning you to be careful. So would that be good or bad? We would say it's good, right? Because it's anticipating us to something that could be of danger to us. So today, if you can leave with one thing from this presentation, is that you are not making your best friend fear, but at least you're okay him passing by, say, thank you, I got your warning, please let go and flow. Okay, let's see what kind of fears we have when we're talking about public
Oh yeah,
speaking.
okay. Well, but here I want to say that public speaking or speaking public is scarier than death. No, there is a study that the psychologist said that public speaking is the first fear, even over the fear to the death. No, and that's a curious thing. So we have types of public speaking fear. We have here the three main type of public speaking fear. The first is the stage fear, and the stage fears is when you don't master the scenario, when you don't know how to move in the scenario, or you don't like your body in the scenario, or your body language is not that good, or maybe you don't dress properly for the occasion, or maybe you don't like your body because they said, oh, you are skinny, or you are fat, or you are tall, or you are short. No, and you have to master this fear, this state fear, first, in order to poder domain the stage. The second fear is the emotional fear. The emotional fear have to be when you always connect with bad experience before from your past, and you are too shy, or maybe your imagination create false stories or about things that can happen when you are on the stage. We call them monster under the bed. No, something that is in your own subconscious mind when you related to your back experience before when you were in the stage. And the third fear is cognitive fear. You is when you don't master the topic, when you don't know what to say, or maybe you don't study the topic and you cannot speak very well. You will be you think that people can ask something that you don't know, or maybe you can not answer the question of your audience. So that three kind of fear have solution for um, for that fears. And here we have the real solution for public speaking fears. For example, the cognitive fear, or the first fear, you can use the 4P method. What is the 4P method? The 4P method is plan your speech.
Pupo, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you change the slide? And in the meantime, I'm going to actually acknowledge Maria Cristina, who's saying fear to fail. We are too focused on pleasing others, and that could be why we are blocked. Absolutely. That is a great point. We're also having some greetings from Kenya, from Isaiah. And I'm so excited because I'm actually part of this world tour. I'm coming to Kenya as well. So I love the greetings. I love the congratulations. And now let's go deep into these three different types of fear. So now that we've spoken how we're going to be okay with that fear, because it's here to only give us an warning, a tapping, a trigger. It's a trigger that is saying, hey, Val, pay attention. There might be some room for growth here. And I'm warning you of a situation that might arise. Now, we are not going to own the truth of that fear. We're not going to own, hey, do I know my speech, or am I going to know how to move, the stage fear, or am I going to be emotionally grounded to be able to pull off the speech or this interview or this presentation in the Zoom that I need to do? It does not matter. So we want to listen, observe, but detach and not own that story. So we've got Pupa, who's going to share what are the 4 Ps method to really work on that cognitive fear.
Yeah,
Do I really know the subject is the question.
Yeah, the cognitive fear, we have the 4P method. The 4P method is very easy. You can plan, you can prepare, you can present, and I forgot the last one, but it doesn't matter. But you have to plan your speech. Know what is the subject. You have to prepare the speech, and practice. Practice is the last one. The last one. You have to practice the speech, and you have to present the speech. And the practice is very important, because when you practice the speech, you master the topic and you master the speech. But the main part is always presenting. And when you present, you don't have to memorize everything, but you have to absorb the information and deliver that information from your own words, from your own experience. The second fear, that is the stage fear, there's only one way to face that fear. That is studying theater. You have to study theater, or maybe clown, or maybe stand-up comedy. You can take a course of stages, or you can use, for example, the mirror, or maybe you can record in the camera. For example, with this thing of Zoom and the webinars and the camera, we always see ourselves in the camera, and we said, what? That is me. I can recognize myself, or maybe you don't like your voice when you're speaking, and when you listen the recording. So you have to use to be in front of the mirror or the camera, and you have to work hard on your self-esteem. The inner work, as Val says, is important. It's important to face the face fear. So in the last one is the emotional fear, and the emotional fear, you have to recognize the emotion, and you have to be able to express the emotion. You have to be able to empower yourself. You have to be able to use the emotion as fuel of your speech. We name that to became the defect and in effect. For example, if I make a mistake, as I did before, because I forgot something, I said, "Oh, I forgot," and I say it. And when I say it, I release that fear, and I share with people that I am human, and I can make mistakes, and that makes me more connective with people, because I use my emotion as fuel to deliver the message.
So this is an important topic because there's so many limited beliefs around here. Like there's points of views, right? Oh my gosh, if you forget something, just don't say, just zoom along. So what makes this unique, and this becomes like a battle between like, oh my God, is this right or is this wrong? As long as it suits you. For Alberto, because he's got a background in also theater and laughter therapy and so many other things, he's cool and just being flow and funny. For me, I would probably like bring the audiences. What do you think is the other P? We looked at this one, and this one. I would be creative to bring that up. In fact, why not? I would bring somebody up from the audience and say, okay, somebody could like find out what is that other P, or what do you think is the other P? So you start being creative, okay? If somebody asks you something, you're connecting with your audience. If somebody asks you that something you don't know, you can be vulnerable at the end. That's a great question. I'll look up for the answer. But if you play with your audience, it's amazing. And recognize that I'm going to be vulnerable and share with you that a fear that I used to have was to speak at every venue is not a problem for me, but it was the speaking to universities. And I had a long storytelling I had told myself around that. And guess what? Now I've spoken over 16 universities, and it's an audience that I love. So whatever limited belief you had, I want you to deconstruct and uncreate and bring possibilities, because that limited belief that I had really strong, that actually Alberto helped me heal, it was amazing to see what all can happen. The magic that happens from a place that you were not expecting. The magic that happens from a place that you said, I'm going to show up. The magic that happens from saying no more. Today I transform and evolve my life to a highest high to be able to serve not just the audience, but myself. Can we switch the slide, Pupo, please?
Yeah, well, if you are thinking, how can I face the fear? How can I practice? Well, here we have a little game that
You
you
need
can
to change the slide, Pupo, please.
Okay, wait.
So while he's pulling it up, yeah, it's another one. We have a game that, because of the due to the time, we cannot really do. I'm looking at the clock. We're going to have to really speed the process a little. Check out that link. Take a snap screen and do it later. It's beautiful so that you can practice how you could just speak on the spot. It literally rolls the dice and you create a story based on the dice that are being rolled. So whether you have a family and you want to play with the kids to engage in conversation, or you just want to see how you flow on the spot, you want to integrate all the images into a story. There's no right or wrong answer. So you just want to really command yourself and be fluent and congruent. You could be funny. We usually do it in 1 minute. And this is a little homework that we'd like to engage to you. But to be able to be doing that presentation, we're going to go ahead and go to the next slide, Pupo, so we can really be focusing on the next slide, por favor. Okay, so these are the things that might seem common sense. But if I tell you to do it right now, you'll see that everybody most likely has that camera lens really dirty. So in fact, I encourage you to do it right now and just go kick, and clean it right there. Check your audio and connections. And I've got to say, I woke up super early to make sure my audio was good. Actually, an hour and a half early, which was really, really early here. And there was something in the system that was not working. So because I had an hour and a half before, I was able to pull it off. So always that audio and check. Even if I had StreamYard before, I've been using it, I've never had a problem. Well, today it was a situation. So checking your lighting. So there's all these portables. I have a portable light because where I am, it's pretty. In fact, I can move it around like this. And your clear background right now. I'm traveling because I'm in a speaking service tour. So I have a little bit more limitations of places. And always center yourself to the middle. And the green dot is your best friend. Bubo, can we switch slides, please?
Okay.
Switch slides, por favor. Estamos tarde. Okay. All right. So, Pupo?
Well, what to do before a presentation? What we have to do? First, we have to center ourselves and the energy. We have to focus the energy inside of, because we have to deliver that energy to the people. Set an intention and trust yourself, no, because you always can do it right. Speak as if you were the receiver. Speak as if you were the audience. Use your heart, not only your mind. Flow, connect with yourself, and stay in the present. So you have to be in present. You don't have to think what happened next or what happened before. When you are in the stage, you have to be present in order to connect with your audience and use everything that is happening to empower your speech.
I want to tell you, Pupa, what's going on behind the scenes, because it's a multitasking thing. There's a little sign that says, please rate your thoughts of this webinar, and they put out of 10, and we have all 10s, and 1 9 and all 10s. So we're very delighted that you are receiving.
Yeah, I was wondering what is that about numbers. I see numbers, and I ask myself if there is an 11 there. Not 11.
So we want to share something more. In fact, Alberto, I'm going to share with you. I'm not even clear if I shared with you the story. I recently gave a presentation. I mean, with my skills, you would think, what in the world is Val doing giving a presentation to a roofing company? It wasn't in my radar. It wasn't planned. But I was speaking about conscious leadership, team building, and leadership. In fact, it's called, conscious leadership, team building, and how to upscale sales. And I had a presentation ready, which I had to submit it to the people that were hiring me. But listen to this story, guys, because this is what we want you to leave with, to be able to tap into your own flow and heart. I was called upon to say completely something else. Within 20 minutes of the conversation, when I was doing an exercise with them, I told the person that hired me, I said, how much do you trust my heart and my work? She said 100%. So I said, we're going to shift everything that we had planned to work with your team. And I shifted because I really tapped into what the workshop was intended to be, based on the answers, based on the energy that I was able to feel and watch and see the movement of the room. And it was one of the most powerful presentations I have ever done. So have fun and allow your own spirit to come through, because this is what's going to make a difference in your presentations. This is how you will be memorable. It is not, my loves, to understand only the content and just deliver it like if you're a parrot. This will detach you from your why and the connector to the heart of others. So let's talk about that during the presentation, what has to happen. Dale.
Yeah. During the presentation, we have to be welcoming. We have to be engaged with the audience. We need eye contact. As you said, always, the green dot is your best friend. So when you are in camera, but when you are in presential, the best friend of the speaker is the people that are in the first in the first fila. ¿Cómo se dice?
Row, in the first row.
In the first row. Keep the eye contact with somebody in the public, or maybe you can keep the contact with everyone watching the horizon in the room. Or maybe you need, for example, if you are in virtual, you need a clear background or virtual background. As you can see, we have here a very clear and very light scenario. Be close to the camera. Use the hands. As you can see, the body language is important, very important. And use constructive responding. When you somebody asks you a question, you have to respond in a constructive way, because there will be always people criticize you there. Even in the public, there can be someone that make a bad commentary about what you are saying. You have to be welcoming and use constructive responding on that kind of criticize.
Absolutely. Maria Cristina says, be yourself, be unique, to be remembered. Absolutely. You couldn't have said it. We should add that into our presentation. Thank you, Maria Cristina, for sharing that, because your uniqueness is what is going to let you be memorable. And we must be vulnerable and never be afraid to say our truth. Everything, just expose it. Yeah, so in nonverbal virtual language, if I have a moving chair and I'm moving like this, it's very distracting. So in order to look powerful and confident, we want to stay steady. We're using our hands and our arms in congruency. Is not, I have actually somebody that I follow a lot, and for some reason she's got like a thing that she goes up and down like this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't go with what she's saying. It's actually distracting. So your body is an instrument of your soul. Allow it to move in the right direction to be a connector with grace and flow. So dress to the occasion. As long as if you're virtually, go ahead and if you want to leave your pajamas underneath. But anyway, you can have more attitude should you dress up. And also, we are going to avoid the personal tics and mannerisms that we have, that sometimes come when you have a dual language and you just want to be amazingly warm. Ya vamos con esa. So definitely we want to be able to be connecting at all times because everything is important. It's your presence, it's your voice, it's how you poise yourself, is how professional you are, is how you're looking at that grade down, how you're asking the questions, how you're involving the audience. Everything counts. So if you have all of them, amazing. If you have 3, it's great. If you only have 1, it's great. And if you don't have any, it's okay. That's why you're here.
Yeah, listen, and in the end, the powerful closing. The people always remember what you say at the beginning of your speech and in the end of the speech of your speech. So the powerful closing is a great tip. You have to close your speech always with powerful phrases or powerful feelings or powerful knowledge that you want to share with them. It's important. Use the love voice of give a powerful message that they will remain or remember when they in their hearts or share with other people. That's the mission of a leader. Let them a message. Make a summary, for example. No, let's see. We today learn this. We are.
So let's give a summary of what we've learned, and then I'm going to give a powerful closing so they see what we're doing. What would be a recap of today?
Yeah, we can recap. And also say goodbye and naturally and spontaneously. Avoid the long closures. It's very, very boring when people say a lot of things at the end of the speech. The end of the speech have to be powerful, have to be emotional, have to be straight, direct, and wise, and call to action. That is the most important thing at the end. Your speech have to call the action to people. What they want to do when they listen to you at the end. What they have to do when they listen to you, and the call the action is with verbs. You have to share verbs with them in order that they go and do what you want to they do with your speech.
Absolutely. And in order to do the last part of this, I would actually, we are being very creative. I would like you to come out of the presentation, Pupa, please. Come out of the presentation so we can be clear on screen. And I want to really command you about a couple of things. If you could stop sharing, that'd be amazing so we could see each other on the screen. Let's do a little recap because you know what? As we go, thank you. As we are becoming more confident, we're able to play. Yes, we had a longer presentation to serve you, but we tapped into how much you were involved as we were speaking. And without even communicating, the two of us, we decided to focus more in depth and give you less, but of more value and power. Don't you worry, because Alberto can come in at another time and we'll do the second part of it. The second part of it, we want to let you actually intrigued because they are very powerful tools, which we're going to talk about: the journey of the hero, the 3 voices, the active pauses. I mean, all the tricks to really make a dramatic but connective presentation, what to do when people ask you, what you don't know and have fun with your presentation. So there's a lot more to it. But today, without even communicating with each other, we shifted. Because why? That's part of what we taught you today. Flow, tap into your heart. We're seeing the feeds. We're feeling your vibration, even though we're in different parts of the world, and we are connected with you. Even when the challenge that we both have as Latinos and everybody needs to like really be connected, and it's challenging not to see your beautiful faces. We want to be able to call you, and now we're interacting with your heartbeat. So let's see how many heartbeats we have active. Throw me in the chat. Throw us in the chat. How you're feeling right now? A heart, a sun, a thumbs up, a crazy face, a brain blowing. What is the emoji that you are feeling at this present time? Throw it in the chat as we're going to recap the importance of seeing our fear as just a friendly reminder of what we need to work on. We notice that all the skills that we need to have a clear, clean presentation, to be able to differentiate the three types of fears and all the different elements that compose around you feeling confident, strong, a confident leader, and to be able to know that if that moment or this moment shook you in any way, you take advantage, because this is the now. When you are here showing up, we command you and applaud you, because you are already here to make a difference in your life. You are already here to go that extra mile. And this that we are teaching, my loves, is an exciting and most important tool, whether you want to become a public speaker or not. So we thank you that you have graced us with your attention for a little over an hour, and we want you to know that we are here for you. As we explained to you at the beginning, we are launching our first world tour to Peru. It's going to be a lot of fun, and if you want to see how other 14 people are evolving in this journey, follow us in social media, because we will be posting. Myself, I'm on Val, like VAL, Alino, ALINO, if somebody can put it there, Val Alino Coach. Val Alino Coach. And that's my social media. And you will be able to see actively what is going on. That's Instagram, that's Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And Alberto, I'm not really sure which.
Well, no, I want to share with you the Speak, Connect, and Grow from the Heart Group in Facebook also. And also you can follow us in as Dr. Humor, DR Humor. In
Humor. He's Dr. Humor because he's got a great humor. So Val Alino Coach, ALINO, and Dr. Humor. And we want you to know and feel and live with us what it is to tap into, to take a risk, to jump off the plane and do crazy things in your life that will empower you to be secure, successful, and to remember to pass on the light. If this was of service to you, share even 1% of what you learned with someone else, because together we will grow stronger and make a difference. So we are going to stay silent for a minute to see if our host can actually come here, Kamal, and then we can ask questions and answers. We really truly appreciate your feedback.
I love the slogan, because they are sharing in the chat the slogan. In the slogan, what is the slogan of this?
IGP.
They are sharing in the chat is
feel your skill,
feed your skill, and speak, connect, and grow from the heart. Oh,
we love it.
You like it? It sounds great, no?
I absolutely feel your skill, feel your soul, excitement and motivation. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we are ready for questions. If our host is around, or I know they have particular answers, and they also have to pass a little. Oh, thank you. She says, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your energetic and remarkable presentation you share with our participants. Thank you very much, ma'am. Especially the process of preparing presentation is very important for our participants. I hope our participants learn something new and they will implement it in their life. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Alberto, and thank you, ma'am Val Alino.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And after a short video clips, we come back together with our question and answer session. Welcome back, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dear participants, it's our question and answer session time. You can send your question in our comment box. Our
We're ready for
speaker,
questions. We love questions.
We love questions. There are two kinds of
thank you.
questions. We also in Speak Connect and Grow in the course we learn how to use that questions to engage with our audience. The open
Okay,
questions and closed questions.
thank you, sir. Our first question from Maria Julieta Della. Is it true that the children who belongs to broken family tend to be more shy and have lots of insecurities?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that one because we didn't even introduce our backgrounds, but I've dedicated over 30 years of my life working with children, parents, and teachers. And it's an absolute truth. The other truth is that you don't have to carry that label for the rest of your life. And I could say that I could be raised from a broken family based on my stories. But when you do the inner work, that brokenness is a strength that will be exponential for your life. And you can shift that shyness and insecurity to be an incredible public speaker or just a person who's sharing their truth with no fear. So the inner work, my love, Maria, needs to be done. Whether you have, so I don't know who you have in your life or if you're just asking a general question, but the biggest results and stories of success come from deep wounds and deep brokenness. So it's two ways to look at the same story. Oh my gosh, poor child that he had this and this, he won't be able to make something of his life, or this is going to make him stronger and he or she will share a brighter light than any other person because based on his or her story, it's her truth and she's empowered or he's empowered to share it.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next question from Marilla and Daman. There are different kinds of leadership. In connection to your topic, how can we connect to an authoritarian leader?
Oh, it's very interesting because the leadership is about to deliver power, not to get with the power. So when you have an authoritarian leader, you have to connect with him from another space. You maybe you want to face him or that kind of leaders. No, when you have an authoritarian leader, the most of the people say we have to face them because we have to fight for the power. But it's better when you deliver power and you share the power in organizations and in the society also. There are chiefs and there are leaders, and the real leader is not authoritarian. It's a leader that share power. It's a leader that with her actions or with his actions and with his words share power and give more engage with the main reason of the community, with the values of the community, not who impose his point of view, if not they if share his point of view. It's different to impose the point of view than share that point of view and convince people through the public speaking in order that they learn something new and they can grow as a community or as person. So when you have an authoritarian leader, you have two ways to do it. You face the authoritarian leader and you maybe go to the war with him, or maybe you can share your power with the rest of the community and you became a leader that they can follow you, and you have to you make them grow
Okay.
as person or group.
Thank you, Pupa. We have here another question.
Thank you, sir. Our next question from Maria Cristina. Leadership is appearing to be strong despite the fears within. Maintaining this is a lot more difficult. How to do it easier?
Okay, so I'll take over that. And for this, I would like to share an example, a true example. I understand that leadership, we are told to be a certain way because there are limited beliefs that if you are not a strong leader, your employees or your crowd will step on you. You need to be strong in all of this. And I can tell you, I ran my own school for 10 years and I had the most beautiful team that never left the school, and all my schools around the other schools around me were having turnover of staff and were criticizing me for being so personable with my staff. And I decided to follow my heart. Of course, it's got to be a balance between the mind and the head. But if I saw an employee, which first of all, I never call them employees. If I saw one of my family members from the school, even walking differently that morning, despite if I had a full-on agenda, I would make moment to speak to that person and be at her level and say, I noticed that you're walking differently today. Your energy's lower. Is there anything I could be of service to you? The other thing I did, who in the world would be a strong leader? And if we're like in competitions, because there's so many schools in my area, in Montessori is the background that I had the school, I would lead them to the other schools. And my leaders, the head of schools, be like, you're crazy. They're telling me that you're sending them. Why are you sending them to me? They're coming to your school, sell them and get them in. My strategy was different. I know who we are as a family. I know that this is your space, and I want you to know that too. By you going to other places, your heart will lead you to the right direction. And guess who had a wait list of 3 to 5 years? I did. Guess who I never had to look for an employee? I didn't. Guess who had the best time with their employees? I did. So my love, it's all about connecting to your heart.
Connect instead control.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful answer. And thank you again for sharing your valuable time with our participants and make this webinar successful. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Until next 13th, I'm going to be coming on live every 13th of the month. So save the date, every 13th of the month. I'll be back with another guest. So thank you. Blessings to you all, and see you in Philippines or Kenya or Nigeria. Those are my next steps after Peru. Until next time.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Dear participants, today our program name is Your Greatest Gift as a Leader. Speak, connect, and grow from the head. And today our program code is IGP 7564. Without code, no one is eligible for certificate, and with code you can claim your certificate anytime. And with account on our website you can visit, but you can do anything functionally. So to download your certificate, you have to go to www.eduigp.com and the code is IGP 7564. After downloading your certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP. Thank you very much for attending today's session. We hope we'll meet together our another session in IGP platform. Thank you very much.